Hello. Hi. Hola. ¿Cómo está? What's up? Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Action podcast. I'm your host, the most from coast to coast, your neighbors, kids, aunties, tias, and titas' favorite DJ. Well, sometimes. Through the years, I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with some amazing DJs, and I thought it would be great to sit down with some of them and just chat about any and everything DJ and not so DJ. My first guest is a power mixer from Phoenix, Arizona's Power 98.3, as well as PitBull's Globalization on Sirius XM Radio, a Red Bull 3 style national finalist and Goldie Awards world finalist. Please welcome my very good friend, DJ Javin.
Lights, camera, action. DJ Action ain't a damn thing changed. Lights, camera, action. DJ Action. Lights, camera, 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 action.
Hey.
Okay.
Hi,
Oh.
thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you for being our first official guest on the Lights, Camera,
Oh.
Action podcast. Very excited to have you. First off, how are you? How are you doing? How are you coping with this new environment? It's kind of this new normal that we're in right now.
It's okay. I mean, things could be a lot worse, but so I'm grateful to be, healthy and living life. I do miss going to work.
Yeah.
A little bit of waiting, it's gonna pay off in the long run. What about you?
I'm blessed. Just trying to cope with some stress, make more out of less, and just doing my best.
Hold up.
What about you? What about you? What about you?
I'm blessed. Cope with some stress, just doing my best. Cope with some stress, make more out of less, and just doing my best. Okay.
Bars.
And be happy and just trying to do what we can just to cope, hunkering down and whatnot. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. So let's start from the beginning.
We have to go back!
Well, how far?
Beginning of everything.
What got you into music, or what got you into DJing? Where does your journey start with all this?
I guess music-wise, my dad, just overall, my dad played the guitar, so I learned the guitar from him. But I was never around DJs. I didn't start hearing like DJs until I guess just the radio, because that's like the easiest access you can get without physically being somewhere else. You just go in a car with your parents or like go by yourself and drive around and you hear something on air. But even then, most of the time, like I'm sure you notice, like you don't really notice a DJ until you hear like the mixing part, because it's still like a full rotation of the same songs over and over again.
Right.
But yeah, so I heard Chris Villa, and I was really inspired by how he would mix songs in, and a lot of scratching. I never really heard DJ scratching before. So yeah, that was it pretty much for me.
What year was that around? If you don't mind me asking. Around
2000. I started 2011, around like
Really?
March-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like before that, I just listened. Really, that's about it.
Okay. What was your first setup? What did you have? Turntable.
First, I had a controller for like 2 months. It was like a Hercules controller.
Okay.
And then, because I did meet a guy that was DJ, and he was telling me that I didn't need turntables anymore because blah blah is the future, whatever.
The freaking future!
But I wanted turntables because I always saw other people like on turntables. The people I was like, oh, that's so cool. Anyways, so yeah, I got a Hercules controller, and then after that, I bought Techniques, and my mixer was a little Newmark mixer. It was like M something, but it didn't have a lot of stuff. It was like a very basic mixer.
Probably it was a 2-channel.
Yeah, I had that, and then I did run into a 909, but I had I know. I didn't know it at the time though, like its values. So I bought it, and then I didn't really know how to use it, and it was really heavy. Yeah, it was heavy. It's a fucking tank. Like it's pretty big. So then I ended up selling it, and I got a 57 instead. So,
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely wish I kept that now, especially. But oh well, you know.
Yeah, everyone talks about the 909. I played on it, but I never had the joy of actually owning one. I'm much older.
What? No.
So I went through a gamut of mixers, the Vestex 05 Pro, and I think the first actual Serato mixer, because I had the Vestex and then I used the SL1 box when everyone jumped on Serato. So I was using that as well. But I've known you for going on 10 years almost, I believe. And so I'm excited to see your journey and your progression into where you're at right now. So I'm very proud of you, by the way, of what you've accomplished and what you've done in this span of time.
Thanks, Akshen.
Of course. And I think I remember seeing you the first time was a DJ competition that I threw and I hosted at Cyphers, the Center for Urban Arts, one of the first urban arts centers out here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I was hosting that. And I remember that particular battle, it might have been the second one we thrown there or the first or second, whatever it was. I was excited because not only the amount of participants that we had, but two of them were actually female, and you were one of them. And I was like, this is great. I love seeing that happen in the culture. And of course, at the time, there's a lot more female DJs, and there have been, but it just wasn't really focused. And congratulations, by the way, being part of Ladies of Sound.
This is what you call a flip. K.O.D. he hard as shit. K.O.D. he hard as shit.
But I remember that particular battle, and you made it to the finals. I wasn't judging, I was hosting, but I was talking to all the judges who were there at the time, and everybody talked about your cutting and your scratching and how dope it was, and it was just really impressive. So do you remember that? Can you talk to me about, was that your battle? Talk to me a little bit about that and how you're feeling at that battle, if you remember it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool actually that you mentioned that, because that's like my very, very first, like, just even going out of my room, like DJ adventure, like.
Yes.
So yeah, that's definitely like a memory that I'm never gonna forget, because that's like one of the first like opportunities I got to just be around like that culture, So that was really cool, and yeah, it was pretty awesome that me and Claire were both in there, and we both did first and second for that battle.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, thanks for throwing stuff like that, events like that, really, really cool.
Oh, always. I'm just happy that, we got you out of your bedroom to come in and showcase, because really lit a fire under you and it's kind of a spark, because people were talking about you. They're like, who is this? Where did she come from? Was she from Cali and she just drove in and entered this battle? Because a lot of female DJs here in Arizona, we didn't know a lot of them that could cut or scratch, if any. And I know Claire was doing it, and which was dope too. But you're doing it at such a high level, and it was being noticed by a lot of cats out here. So, big ups to you on that. So that's awesome. I'm glad that it was something that I threw that you were able to enter, and it was the first one to get you out and do that. So congratulations on that. That's awesome. So tell me about your what's your creative process like? When you either enter these competitions or like do a big show. I know that like I mentioned earlier in the introduction, Red Bull Freestyle, US finalists, and then of course Goldie Awards World finalists. What were those like? Were they different? And what was your preparation and your creative process to putting sets for something like that together?
I mean, the whole process of battles is pretty intense. If I could redo that whole year where I did the Red Bull and Goldies, I definitely would. And I would put a little bit more of my best foot forward in that. I think that I kind of jumped into, what do you call it? Tried to bite off more than you could chew or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
learning from that now, I would say the time length is I would need to put even more time than I used to for previous battles, because I just never really had experience of that magnitude where it's 6 total of us for like the whole country. And they're like, you know, DJs that have had years and years ahead of me. So as far as the creative process regarding those, I would say just time, and then getting it out of my head would be part of, I would say that really is a part of the creative process, because I feel like we all get in our heads when we're doing battle sets and just sets in general. We kind of like start playing out scenarios in our head of what we think, you know, will work best, or what we think will work best but really won't work best, but we think will work best and actually will work best. But really I kind of start from beginning to end. And then sometimes if I get tired of trying to think of, you know, going in a chronological order, I'll just goof around and then I'll work around an idea off that way.
So how would you describe your sound, if you will? You know, if someone have never heard you or wanted to know, what does a DJ Javin sound like? What is her sound?
I mean, it definitely depends where you're hearing me at. I do cater to, you know, the atmosphere I'm around, whether that be like at a pool or at a very like vibey area at night. You know what I mean? It just depends where I'm at. But usually I do always cut wherever I'm at, whether I'm playing like some pretty chill house music or I'm going on a hip hop set, any genre that I can play. I usually like to incorporate some kind of turntablism in there. I would say that I do have an eclectic sound. I wouldn't say it's too crazy and far off to where it's very limited on being relatable to a lot of people.
Right.
Like it's different, but it's not too crazy like to where you're like off-putted, hopefully.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. So when you're playing either at a competition like Red Bull or Goldie, or you competing on those, or when you are DJing at a festival or a club, have you ever dealt with performance anxiety, or do you ever get nervous? Has that ever happened to you? And if so, how do you combat that, or how do you kind of handle that when those things, when nerves start to take place?
Actually, that's a really big barrier that I've had pretty much my whole DJ career, being anxious and having like stage fright. I kind of fall on my face a lot of opportunities I've had because of that. And that kind of pertains to what I was saying earlier about like being in my head, because that is something that you have to conquer within yourself. I feel like even now I still get anxious, whether I'm DJing for like 10 people or like thousands of people, you know, like at a festival or like in just a small room. I still get nervous depending on the situation. But that's just a personal thing. I think a lot of people have that on different levels. Some people really love being in front of people and they just don't have that as much as other people do.
So how do you deal with that when you're feeling that anxiousness, or what are some of the things that you do to kind of calm yourself down or put you into a better place? So
definitely breathing, surprisingly. I know that sounds weird, but breathing is definitely a big thing to do. Before I do something, if I know I'm going to be nervous already, this is now. I didn't really start practicing this until maybe like a year ago, because I had stopped drinking during my gigs. So I had to ease up and loosen myself up in different ways. And I think that's really what helped me with the anxiety part, instead of using alcohol to relax, which is a lot of people's way of combating the performance anxiety. So that's really when I kind of came to terms of being able to control that part, which is by breathing, and then also seeing the situation for what it really is and grounding myself to where I'm at, rather than being stuck in my head and living in that anxiety that's creating a worse situation than it possibly could have ever been. Because really what it is pretty much you're thinking about the situation, which is way more than what it really is, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I'm just gotten really good at talking to myself and grounding myself during those situations. I don't know, for like maybe about 6 months now, I don't really experience that too much. I would say like since we started streaming, it is weird. That one makes me feel anxious because I do have to think about like other things like, oh, like is somebody on the other side, you know? Like that sounds weird. And then like having to like learn how to just talk because I'm not a very big mic talker and that makes me anxious. Doing that makes me anxious. So now it's like, okay, now I'm literally kind of technically not talking to anybody, but then I still am. So that has definitely pushed it, you know, to make me feel more comfortable. So I guess that too, just pushing yourself through those moments where you are anxious.
So speaking of talking and streaming, most recently I see that you were one of the guests at the Scratch Bastard BBQ, the online one, which was awesome. Tell me a little bit about that and how that experience was, and tell the audience and tell the viewers what the Scratch Bastard BBQ is.
Yeah, that was a dope experience. Shout out Scratch Bastard and the whole team. Red Bull too, because they backed that one, specifically that one with the 16 DJs lineup. Scratch Bastard hosts a barbecue and he calls it Bastard's BBQ, and it's always on a Sunday, and it's usually like him just playing jams and just good energy, barbecuing energy, I guess.
weren't you also did the most recently, of course, was the virtual because of COVID, but you were also on the one, I think you and Chris Veer were one in, was it in Texas?
Yeah, it was in Austin. It was in the South by Southwest
Nice.
Bastard BBQ. That was my first one. That was really cool. That one was a DJ City / Bastard BBQ joint together. That was my first time seeing Scratch Bastard live, and that was crazy because he just performs like insane. Like it does not seem like he's human when he's DJing because it's like everything is so perfect. But it's like, yeah, definitely master of his craft for sure.
Yeah, he's technical and in every which way, and then of course funky and yeah.
Yeah, just like everything just flows so well. Like it's just him just showcasing like himself, and it's really wild. It's really cool.
And after that, most recently, after that, you were on the Safe Music Festival, right? That virtual one with Spinoza and Four Color Zach. How is that, and how did you get involved with that? Tell everyone a little bit about that one.
Yeah, that was cool. My friend Denko from Denver, which is also part of a group, Made You Look, hit me up about that one. I'm not sure all the organizers of the event, but it is Sober AF Entertainment that threw that. Really cool because they focus on, I guess, being sober, right? Which is cool. Yeah, I like that. I just became sober, from alcohol, maybe like a year ago. So that was really cool. And Denko was one of the people that I did talk to about that because he was one of the few DJs I met at the time that didn't drink or wasn't around that would drink, you know?
Yeah, I don't drink either, so I get it. Pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah. So at the time when I was still drinking, I met him when I was playing in Denver with him. And he mentioned that and all that. But so that festival, he invited me to do that. And it was a pretty cool lineup. It was a big lineup. And everybody had like different sounds, which was cool. That one was pre-recorded, so it wasn't as go time, you know, as Scratch Bastard's BBQ.
So Bastards was live?
And it was
recorded?
Yeah, so some virtual sets you can pre-record it, and some of them you can do live depending on the tech team they have behind it or what process they choose to do. Yeah, this one, it was pre-recorded. I did a festival set, so I did play different music and different styles that I wouldn't play at Bastard's BBQ, which I feel like at Bastard's BBQ I did play a little heavier than I guess I should have anyways, but oh well. You know, it's cool. I still had fun. And hopefully other people had fun too. I feel like that's always a challenge though, right? Like what are we really gonna go with energy for what set?
Yeah, no, I think you're right, absolutely. So when it comes to energy and reading the crowd, how is it different? Because like when we're playing in front of an audience and you can kind of look, you can see head nods and you can see people reacting to the tracks that you're playing and the give and take of that energy. When you're playing in virtual, when you're playing in a room by yourself, what is your thought process with that?
Yeah, I guess with both those sets, I kind of like, I didn't prepare a full set, but I did prepare some music aside to be like, these are what I'm going to choose from. I've always been like, not the best at creating a set and then following through with them, at least with live crowds, like you said, because you have a different reaction. And that goes with battling too, which makes it hard for me because sometimes I'll be like a little bit away in the battle already, but it's kind of hard for me to be like, to change it because you can't change it because you had already prepped the set.
Right.
But
right,
it kind of feels similar in the virtual world. I would say like as far as just live streaming like by yourself on your channel or like a full set, because that one we only had 30 minutes each. I would say like if you have like an hour or 2 hours, you can do whatever you want. I feel more comfortable like jumping around doing what I want rather than like, oh, maybe I should incorporate this, or maybe like trying to get my head fitting certain things in a certain time frame. When I'm just like playing virtually, it's pretty much the same, like you said, like what I like and what gets me moving and what I feel like playing is going to translate, you know, the same. That energy is going to go through the screen. And I think just from us like playing so much out, you know, years of doing it, and also like even just seeing and watching other people do it, you could feel when they're not feeling it too.
Yeah, I've noticed that with this whole virtual now, the idea that you can actually communicate and talk to your favorite
cool.
DJs is pretty dope, you know? And it's like, hey, I'm talking to you, or hey, Shortcut, what's up? And he was like, hey, what's up, Akshen?
Yeah,
you know,
so cool.
You're like, whoa, you know, because when they're on stage or when we're on stage and whatnot, we can't, you know, we're focused on the whole crowd as opposed to you can actually get individual shout outs and individual.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, I do love that part. It's somewhat more intimate, even though it's not.
Yes.
Which is weird, but it's really cool. I like that about it, and I really like that we actually like extended another limb into DJing with this on top of that, which is like so accessible to everybody, right?
Yes, definitely. It's funny I say that. I was talking with the guys, my crew, Furious Styles crew, and we were having a discussion about, you know, being in the virtual world and how things are going, because if you think about it, now you could have this with like particular battles or whatnot and not have to fly somebody out, and they can they're virtually, and you can still pay them and compensate them, but you're not spending all that for the time and the flight and everything, and they can still be in this virtual space. Another question, if you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, all right, collaborate, you could either, you know, do a mixtape with them or be their DJ or do a show with them, you know, who would it be and why? Who would that person?
Oh man. Okay, just like, I would say like just watching, I would choose DJ AM because I never got to really see him, you know? So I would definitely, like all I have is like videos, and I feel like there's not even that much video that people could really watch. But anyways, I would choose to see him.
Make a mixtape with him or play live with him, like a 2x4?
Neither, I just want to watch. But I just want to watch hang out. For sure, I would want to do something with A-Track. He's just definitely like one of the earlier ones that I was just like wowed by when I was learning stuff. I don't know, he kind of just breaks both barriers of like hip hop and going into electronic music and producing and then doing his own label, et cetera. He's so much, yeah. So him for sure. And then as a performing artist, I would have loved pre-crazy. I mean, maybe not crazy because he's always been crazy, right? But maybe pre-weird Kanye, like the old Kanye.
College dropout Kanye.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then as far as DJs, I've honestly been so lucky to play with so many DJs that are like top tier. But I guess now I would like to do like mixtapes with like people that are producers too, you know. I feel like whoever we're always around is more similar to what we would become. So I would like to do things in that sense so I could learn more about that world.
Are you doing? Are you dabbling in producing? Or putting your own stuff?
Especially now because I mean, I can't really have an excuse now, you know.
What software are you using? What are you using?
I use Ableton. Yeah, nice. I use Ableton Live, but I always just use that one because of, you know, edits or like mixes. where I would like radio mixes that I would pre-record and send in too. I would do the mix live and then I would add the drops later because I hate having to press drops. But anyway.
You're now listening to the sounds of DJ Javin.
Okay, fair enough. What's your favorite venue that you've performed at?
Like ever?
Ever. Like you're just like, I love playing at this particular spot because the sound guy is nice, or the lighting's great, or the people treat me well, or just the crowd's great, or whatever it is. What's one you can think off the top of your head? You're like, man, I love playing here, I love coming here, or even if it was a one-time thing, saying, man, these guys know what they're doing. They really know what they're doing. So.
That's kind of hard. I would say as a residency point of view, I would say the Hot Chick here because it's an Old Town and you don't get that same vibe in different parts of Old Town. And I could play like new and old music. So it gives me a little bit more freedom in that sense. And the whole staff is cool.
Okay.
So I would say residency-wise them. But I would say one-offs, or I guess places that I've just visited but then like haven't gone back or only gone back like once or twice. I usually just base it off of my experience. I never really, if we're going by like how cool the venue is, I would say Beta in Denver is really cool because that one's like a 2-story and that was pretty cool. Doing the Goldie Awards battle, that was cool because it's in a big, huge, like, or not arena, but like it was a big concert venue. It was at Brooklyn Steel.
Oh, nice.
So that was,
nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. I like this spot in LA called Blind Barber that I played with DJ Dazzler one time. That was a really fun experience. But it's really tiny. It's like a tiny bar, but everyone is like on the same level.
What was the place called?
Blind Barber.
Blind Barber.
Okay. It's like one of those spots where you go to like a door and then it looks like something else, and then you go to another door and then it becomes the bar in the back. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you prefer to play in big venues or small ones?
I like both. I mean, they both have different vibes. It depends on what music we're playing or what kind of performance we're doing. Like how I said, like, I like the venue at Brooklyn Steel for the Goldie Awards, but I was also like battling, so I was like stressed the fuck out. But, like concerts are like a little stressful for me. I feel like I hold a lot of weight with DJing concerts. A lot of people like it because it's easier because they just have to press play and they don't have to think about it and the artist has to do all the work. But I don't think so. I think concert DJs are like, your energy has to be so fucking high like all the time. Sorry, I cursed.
No, you're good.
Just bleep that out. But
so what is your, speaking of like concert venues and or concert gigs and stuff, like what is the best gig or your favorite show that you've played ever, that you can remember going, man, this was like, at one of the highlights in my career as a DJ so far?
Yeah, definitely as far as people-wise, I would do the opening for PitBull's concert. Because that was like thousands of people. It was crazy. That was my first experience doing it with that many people,
Awesome.
So it was a very big moment for me. It was in San Antonio. So I got to play all 3 of the opening slots. So that was cool. Very new experience. A lot of pressure because everybody's staring at you and they're also not there for you. They're waiting for PitBull and Enrique Iglesias. They're just like, who's this? We want to see PitBull. But yeah, that one's definitely an experience. And then I would say, as far as like enjoyment wise, I always like doing it when my friends perform. My friends Smeared Lipstick, they always invite me to play shows with them. Nice. So I'll play their tracks for them. And I always think those are the most fun ones for me personally, because it's kind of just like, you're with your friends. Yeah. So you get to like cherish the moment together and like, live that moment together, which I think always makes the best moments anyways, no matter what experience it is.
On the flip side of that, Javin, what is your worst gig? The one you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of here. This was like, can you recall? Everyone has that one gig. What is the worst gig?
I have a few.
No, okay. We all do. I know I have a laundry list, but just one that you can remember right now.
Okay, so one time I had been, cordially invited to play at a very classy function called Tequila Sunrise in Flagstaff.
Okay.
Which, if you know what Tequila Sunrise is, it's not classy at all. It's a bunch of it's pretty much everyone stays up till 6 a.m. People start partying at 6 a.m.
Wow.
or 5 a.m. or whatever, however early they start. And they get super wasted, like all the college kids at anyway. Anyways, so I got invited to play there, and it was horrible because, oh my gosh. So I brought my friend with me, and my computer stopped working. You know, like my Serato. I was about to be up next. The previous DJ had asked me to bring an RCA cable. I brought the wrong cable, so we had to like rig it from a mic cable to my, just me being a rookie mistake. And then I asked to DJ off my friend's laptop, and he didn't even have like a lot of the music. So I basically killed a room like that was super packed. Everyone was great. My computer didn't work. It was hot. Everyone was drunk and messy. It was probably like the easiest, most fun room you could probably DJ to, that everyone would just be okay with what you played. And I totally like messed it up. Wow. There was a bunch of times where the cable that was hooked up to the mixer was like messed up, so the sound sounded like crap. It was like, crackly. Oh my gosh, it was really bad.
Oh man.
That was probably the worst. Yeah, I killed the whole room. Like the owners were not very happy. And that was the last time I played there. But yeah, I mean, that's probably like one of the worst experiences. Yeah, I would say for sure if I went back, I would have just been like, nah, someone else play. Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to save like a dead horse. So, it was already gone from the beginning. I shouldn't have tried so hard to like revive it.
What is your favorite snack that you keep in your DJ bag?
Actually, that's a good question. I guess nuts. I have some nuts in here somewhere.
These nuts. Got him!
I think so.
Trail mix.
I do. Oh, I guess you can't see it.
I see it.
Nuts,
nice.
Yeah. So I actually don't really carry that much snacks in my bag, but I just started to.
Because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. What about you? What do you carry?
I carry. I always have gum and some kind of like mints, like an Altoid or whatever. I always have that there. The one thing I never leave my bag out is my collapsible back scratcher. My wife gave that to me years ago because I remember DJing out wherever I was at, some club, whatever, and I needed to scratch my back, and I can't reach my back. So I was like, and I was like rubbing against the wall, it was just uncomfortable. It was a freaking mess. And then my wife goes, "Here, how's this?" And I never leave home. And I take it out, and I can just scratch my back, collapse it, and then put it in my bag. I never leave my bag without that back scratcher because you
that's
just
awesome.
never know. So that's one thing I don't leave. So what we're gonna do right now is we have a segment called AK-47. It's a rapid fire round, okay? It's 47 rapid fire questions. We're gonna start with AK-47, the rapid fire round. Here we go. AK-47, 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 AK-47. Here we go.
Rapid fire.
Everybody knows what an AK-47 is.
All right, we're getting started right now with the speed round. Here we go.
Number one, vinyl or DBS?
DBS.
Record box or Serato?
Serato.
Pioneer or Rain?
Pioneer.
Orphon, Shure, or Phase?
Sure.
1200s, CDJs, or a controller?
1200s.
Scratching or beat juggling?
Scratching.
Transformer or flare?
Flare.
100 BPM or 130 BPM?
130.
Ah or fresh?
Ah.
Cool Herc or Grandmaster Flash?
Ooh, Flash. Grandmaster Flash.
KRS-One or Rakim?
Rakim.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Nas or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Pharrell or Timberland?
Timberland.
Beat Junkies or Pickles?
I'm gonna go with Beach Junkies.
Qbert or D-Styles?
Oh. D-Styles.
Funk or soul?
Soul.
Black or white?
I guess black.
Red or yellow?
Yellow.
Prince or Michael?
different.
Janet or Madonna?
I'm gonna go with Janet.
Okay. Whitney or Mariah?
I'll go with Mariah.
All right. Electro or house?
House.
Hip hop or R&B?
Ah, man. No, I'll go with R&B.
Winter or summer?
It's pretty hot, so we're gonna go with winter this time.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cream or sugar?
Sugar.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Breakfast.
Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, pancakes?
Pizza or tacos?
I'm gonna go with pizza.
Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Twitch or Mixcloud?
I like Twitch now, I guess. Twitch.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Netflix or Amazon Prime?
I'm gonna go with Netflix though.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Left or right?
Left.
Fast or slow?
Slow.
Morning, noon, or night?
Noon?
Noon, okay. Gold or silver?
Gold.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Adidas or Nike?
Nike. I said Adidas before in one of these rapid ones, actually.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Plane or car?
Car.
Window or aisle?
Window.
Beach or lake?
Beach.
And the last one, Asia or Europe?
Asia.
And that is AK-47, our rapid fire.
We made it. Holy shit, we made it!
I want to say, we're going to wrap this up right now. I want to say, Javin, thank you so much, my dear, for being our first official guest here on the Lights, Camera, Action podcast. Do you have any last words you want to give, shout outs, anything coming up, anything that you want to say to your fans, friends, audience before we go?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Action. This was really fun. And shout out to everybody I mentioned on the podcast, I guess. And yeah, this was really cool. Thanks for having me.
Once again, everybody, please make some noise for DJ Javin, the one and only here. And we will see you next time on Lights, Camera, Action. Thanks again, Javin. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/DJ Action and Instagram as well for all the latest and greatest of everything action. Remember, continue to fight stress, make more out of less, and always do your best. We'll see you next time right here on Lights, Camera, Action.